Everybody, it's a little after 7. I'd like to welcome everybody to tonight's work session. Thanks for everybody that's here. So coming up this time, we will, invocation will be led by Alan Carmen. The pledge will be by Amber Russell. And then the approval of minutes, they've all been distributed. Please look these over before next Monday. And if there's any corrections or amendments, please let Ms. Crowder know. So as far as announcements goes, we have a commission work session scheduled for Thursday, February the 6th at 6 p.m. at the community center. This is to meet with Jim Langford of Spirit Architects to continue discussions on the jail project. If there's any announcements or that need to be made at tonight's work session on this particular topic.
What time was that on? 6?
Yeah, that is at 6 p.m. here at the community center, February 6th. That was to continue the conversation with Jim Langford. So anyway, at this point, if there'll be no additions or changes to the agenda, make sure everybody has any additional items you'd like to have on there forwarded to us. We can get it out to everybody by email before next Monday.
One question, the impact fee ordinance that we were discussing in budget finance, is that going to be on our agenda?
No, that didn't come up in this time. So what's going to happen is that'll go back to the steering committee meeting, at which time we're going to deliberate on that and get you further down the road. It's not prepared yet. Okay. So any citizens response to any of the agenda items, if you wish to speak to the commission, please sign in up here at the podium and you'll be called to address the commission over at the proper time for that. Okay. Anybody's got any public comments? At this time, Mayor McCall, if you have any thing you'd like to discuss for tonight's work session.
I'll give an abbreviator for a while, let your lunch rest for a second, okay? We're coming up with the Ward School project. The 3 architects that will submit bids will be appointed this week. And then that project will move forward. PDOT did finally sign off on the streetscape project. So it's now in the county's hands and we can make corrections on the curbs downtown probably this spring, as soon as the weather breaks. We were the first county to receive a $20,000 brownfield grant. There are 3 phases of the brownfield grants, and the first phase is identification. And so a contract's been made with a company to come in and identify some problems, both public and private, that can be evaluated, and then a second grant will be available to bring them back up. They're especially looking at the Feds building on the old roller rink and also the hotel downtown. And then they'll be looking at some other properties in the county to see if they qualify for another brownfield grant to bring them back to usefulness. The 8 acres, which was formerly the community dump, which is owned by the Ward Schools, has gone through its second phase of investigation by EPA. We should be hearing from that report right away. Other than that, the multimodal grant, which includes building of sidewalks from the depot to McMurray, is still moving forward. We underestimated what that would cost, but a grant's already in the works to fund the difference between how it was originally speculated would cost, and so that's still going forward. Still got some work to do on some arrows at the corner of Old Hall Town in McMurray. That's again waiting for TDOT to give us a go ahead on that. That's my abbreviated mayor report. I'll have a more detailed report next week on Monday night. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, I encourage everybody between now and next meeting, if you would take the time to review and just familiarize yourself with all the stuff that's in the packet so that we can have a productive session. So coming into active business for this next month agenda, the first thing we have is to accept the resignation of our District 3 Commissioner, Grant Cothran. He resigned due to moving out of his jurisdiction. So we do appreciate Commissioner Cothran for his time served. And if we will be publishing the vacancy coming next Monday to be published in February meeting, it says that if you know anybody that would like to fill this position, they can present themselves. They've got to meet the criteria. But if anybody it meets the qualifications that you know of, please by all means, steer them our way. Because we do have an opening. Is there any questions from the commissioners regarding Grant Cothran's resignation? Okay. Confirmation of the building official. Our mayor has interviewed candidates regarding our building official position. A decision has been made and Miss Rosalie Mahan has been selected to fill this position. Mr. Mayor, do you have anything you'd like to add? Okay. So is there any questions from the commissioner? Copy. Congratulations, Miss Rosalie. Yes, Landon? Yes, sir.
No confirmation was made. Never voted on, right? By the commission.
Yes, by the commission. They've got to be voted on, but yeah, that's where they're at now.
But you're welcome.
Yeah, 100%.
One question I had for the mayor, will we be, since Rosalie had been the secretary, I guess, for lack of a better term, I don't know exactly what will we be looking to fill that position in that office?
But that's been budgeted for this year.
Okay.
And she'll be looking to employ some help. later
Okay.
on. Sure.
She can use it. So, sure, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Thank you. Okay, moving on. Acknowledgement of debt management policy, which you'll find at page 19. So annually, the commission is to review the debt management policy and have it recorded in the minutes. There is no further action required by the commission. There's been no changes in the policy since 2016. Do we have any questions from any of the commissioners regarding this? Again, it's on page 19 of your packet. Okay, no questions? We'll move on. So next we have our appointments. The following appointments will be presented for commission for their approval. And you'll find those on page 25 of your packets. That's for Board of Agriculture, Board of Zoning Appeals, Beer Board, Health Officer, Highway Commission, Water and Sewer Board, and Planning Commission. Is there any questions regarding that?
The gentleman being appointed to the water board, what's his background? Just, I'm not familiar with who that is.
His name is Ben Fiok. Ben is retired military. He is our current veteran services officer. Yes, and his wife is a civil engineer, and he's got some sort of a technical background, but he's a retired military.
Somebody step down on that board? Or you put somebody new? Or?
Well, I think Miss Kendra Stafford had resigned and it hadn't been reappointed. Yes, Mr. Gully.
He is a member of Travis County.
Yes.
Do we know his residency term, how long he's been a member of Travis County?
4 or 5 years.
Yes, his wife serves on the board on the field.
Yeah, it's been at least 5 years because he's been over and supply better.
So to answer your question, I think he said at least 5 years. Yes, sir. Any other questions regarding these appointments? Again, those are on page 25. Thank you. So we're going to move on to resolutions. Resolution 2025-01819 ECD road name Compound Lane. So the Emergency Communications Board met on January 14th and have recommended the name of a private lane that's located west of Lebanon Pike, just north of the Wilson County line. The name is to be named Compound Lane. And this, as you can see, can find on page 28 of your packet. Any questions regarding this? Yes, I believe that'd be the case. I can't think of any other reason. All righty. Moving on to ordinances. These are beginning on page 32 of your packet. Public hearing and second notice on ordinance 2024 13. This is the rezone R2 to R3 on River Valley. Again, this is on page 32, first one. We will hold a public hearing before moving to the second reading of this ordinance. Owners are requesting a rezoning of the property located at 850 River Valley for future developments. Do we have any questions regarding this? Do you have anything you'd like to say, Ms. Mayan?
Residents to speak to this one.
Yeah, you can come to the podium. Thank you.
So the first reading that we had, we did have an individual come up and was concerned about the possible stormwater runoff issue onto that area. They have already submitted what they plan to do when they have, if this was successful for a rezoning for R3. According to GNRC, they are allowed to have 14 units on this parcel of land if it is in fact rezoned to R3. They want to build 10 units, very similar to what they did up there at 860 River Valley Road. I have already spoken with the ones that are seeking the rezoning and said that even before they were able to come to the planning commission with a site plan, and what they're submitting, they're gonna need to do some type of efficiency study. Do we have the infrastructure out there? What are the water lines? What is the sewer capabilities? That way we could mitigate any stormwater issue that they have. I know some of the site plans that are submitting, they're asphalting almost the whole lot, which in fact would cause a lot of stormwater runoff. And so even before planning would even be able to see this, they would have to show us that they're going to be able to address those issues. So the individual wanted me to come forward and let you guys know that they still have a concern about stormwater. We do have a plan. Again, that doesn't necessarily happen with the rezoning part, but it does happen with the planning part. Planning is really taking an active interest in how stormwater is being addressed throughout all these different subdivisions that are being brought forward. So that's that one on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then. So next, we have a first reading on ordinance 2025-01, which is the blasting permit, which you'll find on page 36, and then the example is on page 37 of your packet. This was originally presented at the April 15, 2024 commission meeting. It was sent back to the committee to be reviewed and compared to the state requirements that make sure that we're meeting basically all the criteria with this. This is setting a fee of $100 for blasting. This will also allow for the collection of information on the project and the company doing the blasting. This will allow us to disseminate information to the emergency departments, et cetera. Commissioner Thomas, do you have anything you'd like to add to this for clarification?
Well, I mean, this got sent back with a couple questions. We've hashed those out. We'll be presenting those answers when this comes up for a vote.
Copy, thank you. Do we have any questions regarding this from the commissioners at this time? Mr. Gregory.
If memory serves, one of the questions at the time was, this was talked about, to inform people, but there was nothing about actually informing, say, the neighbors, the people affected by it, and I still don't see anything in here on how that was addressed.
Commissioner Thomas, would you like to address?
So when we looked at it further in subcommittee, we realized that the state requires the blasting signs to be put up, evidenced by their Jones Brothers now, or Rogers Group, I can't remember which one's working out there. Also in you're going into Gallatin, doing that subdivision, they were blasting there. The orange and black signs, they're posted by the roads every time they're blasting. So we thought it was redundant to have our signs put out there beside those signs already stating there's blasting going on.
Anything else? Anybody have any other questions for further clarification? So then moving on, we're gonna have ordinance 315-2025-02. And as rezoning A1 to R1 on Sleepy Hollow, and you're gonna find this on page 38 of your packets. Owner is requesting a change from A1 to R1 for a residential build on Sleepy Hollow. Ms. Mayan, would you like to speak to this?
As you can see, in your packet, that the lot that they're asking to be rezoned, well, it's zoned A1, but it's only 1.91 acres, which does not meet the definition of an agricultural piece of property. So it wouldn't be able to meet setbacks whatsoever and be able to have a septic field. So if it is rezoned to R1, it's going to be able to meet the setbacks and be a conforming lot. As it sits right now, it's a non-conforming lot.
Do we have any questions for Ms. Mayan here?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we move on to the fun stuff. Budget amendments, they start on page 44. And I'll say this, for the commissioners that don't show up and come in here when they can to listen in on some of these budget meetings, you would find it to be very, very informative. The information is priceless. They cover things at great length and it answers a lot of questions. And I encourage you all to show up for those whenever you get a chance. It's very informational. So all budget amendments can be taken in one motion next Monday if that is the commission's will. I'd like to put that out there for our consideration. No?
No, because
That's
we more than
in my
likely
notes.
will not be at the courthouse. next
Oh, because they
week.
won't be at the courthouse, so it'll have to be a roll call.
The first one needs to be a roll call, the
Okay.
rest of them can be taken.
Okay. Yes, sir.
The first one, the reserve fund
Yes,
will have to be separate.
hold separate. Okay,
There's no fund balance at all. So
okay, I understand. Thank you. Thank you, appreciate that. I can tell you guys that I listened in and every one of these passed with favorable recommendation from the committee. And I applaud their work on that. First one, 101-10R, the opioid abatement contributions. It's $75,000. There is an estimated $65,000 that must be spent by February of 2025. The first round of contributions that the mayor has settled two entities for this. Hartsville Hope and Healing will be given $50,000 to support their efforts. And then Haven House Rehabilitation Center will be given $25,000 to support treatment and recovery of addicts in the community. This amendment moves funds out of the reserves into the expense for the alcohol and drug programs. Do we have any questions? Commissioner Gully.
just a simple thing, make sure we noticed, the 2024, what it states there, make sure you know that that is actually 2025, February 2025. We're not behind a year.
I heard that earlier and made that note change.
I heard you there, but make sure everybody sees.
No further questions?
It's
On that
still favorable.
Moving on, 101-11G, the TNRMT safety grant for the fire department, $6,700. And this amendment is to accept the revenue to appropriate the expense for two sets of turnout gear for the fire department. Do we have any questions on that? Okay, that one was favorable. Then we move on to 101-12 insurance recovery from the sheriff's department. $3,665 insurance recovery from an incident between a patrol car and a deer on November 7th. This amount is an estimate of repair minus a $500 deductible. This amendment is to accept the revenue and appropriate this to the sheriff's vehicle and maintenance expense fund. Any questions? Okay. Then we move on to 141-06 TISA or TISA bonuses of $158,480, accepting this TISA revenue and appropriating the expense of education incentive under regular instruction program. If you have any questions on that, Mr. Gully could most certainly explain that much better than I could. I listened to it this evening and it was very, informative. If there's any questions, anybody? Thank you. And again, that was favorable. Moving to 14107, special education reimbursements. That is $36,792. It's accepting grant revenue and appropriating the expense of special education and transportation. It's pretty cut and dry on that one. Any questions? Okay, moving on. That was favorable. Educational incentives, which is 14108, moving funds from committed funds and regular instruction program to various departments for education incentive disbursements. It's $48,538. If there's any questions on that. Again, that was another favorable. Okay, thank you. And then lastly, we'll be moving to 14109, which is the U-Trust funding, accepting U-Trust funding and appropriating regular instruction program for that and for the office of the principal, and it's $5,500. Do we have any questions regarding this? No one? Thank you. Okay, public notary applications. Ms. Crowder will have a list of notaries to present it to us next Monday. As far as other business, is there any other business that needs to come before the commission this evening? Yes, sir. Mr. Thomas.
On public works meetings, are we planning on meeting here or the mayor's office? If we don't have meetings before then.
So there's a parks meeting right afterwards, so they're probably gonna be in the same place.
That's what he's asking.
That's why he's asking. Do you want to hold him here or you want to hold him at the mayor's office?
I'm at 6, you're at 7, so I just want to make sure everyone knew here, you just do it the same
It
place.
don't matter, whatever y'all
Okay.
plan.
So for public works, it'll be 6 o'clock.
Mr. Bella.
I would like to say, I understand the mayor's office is a place that can meet. I think we need to have public meetings in a more public location. This or the courthouse. I don't think we need meetings in the mayor's office personally. Personal opinion, it needs to be open to our public. This is a location that's a lot more accessible and open to our public.
I'll take it. Okay, do we have any other business that needs to come before the commission this evening? Is there anybody here from the public that would like to make comment this evening? Seeing no one, at this point in time, I guess I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
You got them both, brother. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Stay warm.